Clinton County Board of Elections Precinct Election Official Training, November 3rd, 2020 General Election. Checking in voters with the poll pad and dispensing the ballot. New ID trays replace magstripe scanners. The magstripe scanners are very easy to use and replace the old magstripe scanners, which did not always work well. The poll pads will be set up for you at the polling location. A rover or your VLM will install an updated absentee voter file with an iSync drive before you begin checking in voters on election morning. Welcome, voters. PEOs should provide a great customer experience for every voter. A friendly greeting and a smile, even behind your mask, can set the tone for every voter interaction. When the voter enters the polling location, they will go to any available voter check-in station, any line, any time. The number of voter check-in stations is based on the number of precincts assigned to the polling location. Once the voter arrives at an available voter check-in station, the lead PEO or assistant PEO will first ask them for one of the acceptable forms of voter identification and examine for validity. Acceptable forms of identification in the state of Ohio include Ohio driver's license or state ID. If the license or state ID was set to expire on or after March 9, 2020, it was automatically extended and will remain valid through the November 3, 2020 election due to COVID protocols. An interim document, the temporary license issued to a voter while a new ID is being processed. Government-issued check or paycheck. A bank statement with voter's name and current address and must be dated within the past year. A utility bill with voter's name and current address and must be dated within the past year. A car registration, valid and unexpired. Military ID may not always have an expiration date. Any government-issued ID such as a fishing license, dog license, concealed carry license, etc. Unacceptable forms of identification include a passport, voter acknowledgement card sent from the Board of Elections, Social Security card, birth certificate, or a driver's license from any state other than Ohio. As you enter information in the poll pad, it will prompt you what to do next. Simply follow the prompts and you will be able to easily check in regular voters, provisional voters, and voters with an address change. Once the voter's ID is confirmed valid, the lead PEO or assistant PEO will scan the driver's license or state ID to locate the voter's record in the electronic poll book or poll pad. Or the lead PEO or assistant PEO will manually enter the information into the poll pad to look up the voter by typing in the first three letters of their last name and the first three letters of the first name. The lead PEO or assistant PEO will then ask the voter to state their name and current address and confirm this matches the information listed on the voter's record in the poll pad. By stating this aloud, the voter is providing an affirmation that they are who they say they are and that they live where they say they live. Once the voter's information has been confirmed, the lead PEO or assistant PEO will ask the voter to sign the designated signature box in the poll pad. Click Done Signing to move to the final screen. The final screen will have the voter's complete information, including a comparison of the signature on file to the signature provided on the previous screen. Select the type of voter ID provided and click Submit to complete the voter processing in the poll pad. As the final step in processing the voter at the voter check-in station, issue the ballot request slip to the voter to present to the precinct ballot supply table to obtain their ballot. The ballot request slip includes precinct name, precinct split if applicable, precinct number, and the voter's name and address. After a regular voter has completed their processing at the voter check-in station and been issued a ballot request slip, they will be directed to their precinct ballot supply table to obtain a ballot. While voter check-in stations are not precinct specific, ballot supply tables are precinct specific and only have ballots assigned to that precinct. These tables will have signage with the precinct name and will be assigned a color indicated by a tablecloth to better assist voters in locating the correct ballot supply table. Once the voter arrives at their correct precinct ballot supply table, they will present their ballot request slip to ballot PEO number 1. Ballot PEO number 1 will retrieve the correct ballot style from the precinct ballot supply based on the information provided on the ballot request slip. The ballot request slip is placed in an envelope for return to the Board of Elections. Ballot PEO number 2 will use the information on the ballot request slip to locate the voter in the precinct's ballot poll book. Record the ballot stub number in the first column of the ballot poll book. 3 columns are provided for ballot stub numbers because voters can be issued a maximum of 3 ballots should they make an error while voting. If the voter is not listed in the ballot poll book, they are most likely not at the correct precinct ballot supply table. Once ballot PEO number 2 has recorded the ballot stub number in the ballot poll book, ballot PEO number 1 may issue the ballot to the voter along with a ballot secrecy sheet, which should be discarded after use. This is due to COVID protocols and replaces the manila file folder we used to use. Marking the ballot. PEOs may provide a Bic pen to each voter to mark the ballot, and they may throw it away when the voters completed their ballot. If a voter brings their own pen, remind them a gel pen may not read as well in our scanner. The voter may mark their ballot at any available votomatic or voting booth in the polling location voting area. Instruct the voter to come back to the ballot supply table area when they are done voting. When the voter finishes voting, the voter will return to their precinct ballot supply table, remove their ballot stub and scan their ballot, return their ballot stub to ballot PEO number 2, receive their voting sticker, discard the secrecy sheet in the garbage can, and discard their Bic pen. Instruct the voter to leave the polling location through the designated exit. Gently encourage voters to move along rather than staying inside and chatting with friends. We need to keep people moving in and out of the location to allow for social distancing. Please click the link in the notes under this video to take the quiz.